If you're looking to withdraw from your IRA for education expenses, you're likely wondering how to avoid costly penalties. The good news is, it's entirely possible to do this without giving up a chunk of your hard-earned savings. Let me show you exactly how, so you don't end up regretting a decision that could cost you down the road. Before we dive into how to avoid penalties, let me just mention that if you're serious about protecting your wealth over the next 2 weeks, click the first link in the description below. Thousands of Americans are opening Gold IRAs to protect their wealth, and if you have over 100K in your IRA or 401K, this is something you don't want to miss. The free guide will walk you through everything you need to know about this valuable option. Now, let's get back to how to avoid penalties when withdrawing from your IRA for education expenses. The first thing you need to know is that the IRS actually allows penalty-free withdrawals from your IRA for qualified higher education expenses. This includes tuition, fees, books, supplies, and even room and board if the student is enrolled at least half-time. But you need to make sure the expenses are qualified to avoid those penalties. The key to making this work is understanding the difference between a penalty and regular income tax. While you can avoid the 10% early withdrawal penalty, any withdrawals you make are still subject to ordinary income tax. So, it's crucial to factor that into your decision and ensure that the benefits outweigh the tax hit. One of the most common mistakes retirees make is thinking they can only withdraw for tuition fees. But as I mentioned, room and board can also count, as well as other supplies that are necessary for the education process. However, keep in mind that you can only use your IRA for expenses that are directly related to education, so no using it for non-school related costs. Another important point is that this rule applies to both traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs, but with a key difference. With a traditional IRA, you're required to pay income tax on your withdrawals. On the other hand, with a Roth IRA, if the withdrawal is made after the account has been open for at least 5 years, you won't owe taxes on the earnings. So, if you've been saving with a Roth, you have a major advantage here. Let me also point out that if you're under 5912, the 10% penalty is waived for education expenses, but only if the student is yourself or a family member, like a child or grandchild. This is a great option for retirees who want to help family members out with their education costs without suffering penalties. Now, I've mentioned traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs, but here's something to think about. Gold IRAs. They offer a fantastic way to protect your wealth from inflation and market volatility, especially for retirees. Gold IRAs don't face the same ups and downs as regular IRAs, and they can be a much more stable way to grow and protect your assets long term. If you're thinking about withdrawing from your IRA for education expenses, why not make sure that your assets are safe and stable? Again, if you want to learn more about why thousands of Americans are making the switch to Gold IRAs, click the first link in the description for your free guide. Before I wrap up, here's something important to consider. If you have 100K or more in your IRA or 401K, or even 5M plus in savings, a Gold IRA could be a smart move to help protect your assets. You'll get a detailed guide that will help you take control of your wealth while avoiding penalties on education withdrawals. So, to sum it up, avoid those penalties by making sure your education expenses are qualified. Remember that the 10% penalty won't apply, but be mindful of the income tax. If you want to protect your wealth while still making use of your IRA, especially if you have a substantial amount saved, Gold IRAs might be the perfect solution for you. Click the first link in the description now to get your free Gold IRA guide and consultation.